Giorgi Sprow joins us, and he's written, I think, an incredibly valuable book, Investing Best and Simple Steps, Wise and Simple Steps to Increase Financial Wealth. Who does not want that, and who does not need that now? Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for bringing me in, Kate. This is wonderful. I really feel actually blessed and honored to give my time to everybody as well, and to bring my experience and personal experience to talk about this book, this wonderful book that I put together within a span of really a few months last year when COVID was going around.
Yeah, and it is an important book. And as you said, COVID was going around. So now more than ever, it's so important. And is that what led you to do this, that you had some time and you thought this is just going to be invaluable?
Yeah, this is what really motivated me to do, is write a book and to really bring about actually just the highlights of what I had discussed in the book, like examples of financial literacy, investments, to give consumers the benefit of the doubt. Okay, with this book, it's the most simplest written book that anyone can read. It takes no more than 30 minutes to have a look at it. And basically, it really just delves down into the principles, basic things that people do every day when it comes to consumer finance or making priorities, time management, organization skills as well, rising above issues, and no primary reasons of money. Why it's important to spend money, why it's important to save money. And most people think that stocks and investing are scandals at all. I'm thinking that they're going to get conned into the wrong investments. With this book, this tells you just the foundations and basic understanding that anyone can do it.
Yes,
electrician, anyone.
Anyone, and I love that. That's exactly what I would have described it as. So, Giorgi, tell us a couple of, we're not going to tell them everything because you got to go and get this book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, but give us a couple of slices of it. What are some things that people can do right now that they're probably not doing that are listening to this?
Right now, they can talk to a local investor, broker. They can actually buy the book. One thing, first buy the book.
Of course,
Read the book.
Yeah.
Buy the book, read the book. To think about, how, they would take action. Buy the book, read the book, and open up sources, bank accounts. Start about consolidating your debts, right? For example, David Show talks about consuming finances, getting rid of debt. Dave Rubin Show talks about that. And then you have many successful investors that explain those details. To just simply invest for yourself. Think about putting money into your investments. When the money, let's say, for example, when everyone earns a living wage. So is it rather best to, after reading the book, I talk about one of the principles, crafting your portfolio like a toolbox, right? Everyone has a toolbox to manage. So you can manage that toolbox by putting money into that investment. That's your toolbox. People can easily do it within today, like 30 seconds. They can easily just open an account to investment accounts like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, that's good advice. They can do it right now as they're listening. What do you think the biggest mistake is that people make?
Overspending is another biggest mistake that people make. It's also really a lack of awareness. People aren't aware about exactly why they're spending so much money when they don't have to for unwanted, reasons, right? And also the debt consolidation, not the debt consolidation, but also the biggest mistake is just the lack of literacy that people have not been educated properly in our schools, right? When we're practically taught about math, money, compound interest, that's one of the biggest mistakes. And so basically, it can become a helping lesson to rebound from that. It's a similar biggest mistake that I made for myself. What helped me to realize is, okay, I've had to want to rebound from that mistake when I've got into, personal debt, or I've accumulated unwanted debt, which I've rebounded from that. And that's what really kept me going. Is that like the fear of not wanting to be below zero. It's basically taking action to address the most immediate concerns. Is financial literacy is one thing. To address the financial literacy, I tell people, friends and coworkers I know of, I tell them to basically go out of your way to start studying about finance. By saying start studying, you got to actually find a book. You got to read about it.
Yeah, and that's the first step. I mean, you got to read about it. Knowledge is power, and I love Giorgi that said that that what is such a big problem is we don't get this in school. This should be something that we're taught when we're kids, and then we wouldn't get into some of, I think, the problems that we get into.
Yeah, sure, for sure. And that's definitely, some of the problems that, most of us guilty as charged. We've created the problems because we didn't know how to teach ourselves about money. And that's why we got into what we recently got into. Banks who have lost money, or banks who have filed for bankruptcy during the 2008 crisis. So, and again, financial education is so important, and there are so many successful people that have educated about financial literacy and why it's so very imperative that, okay, with this book that I've written down, it's as simple as clear and cut and dry that anyone can do it, because that's one of the number one lessons I learned from Warren Buffett, and I credit his knowledge and applications to investing, is have at least two sources of income, because you never know when the rainy day is going to come.
Yeah, so true. Two sources of income. And you're right. Buffett does talk about that. No question about it. What do you hope people take away from reading Investing Best and Simple Steps, Wise and Simple Steps to Increase Financial Wealth?
I hope that they can stay proactive. I hope they can be more productive. They can understand. They can come to a sense of understanding that, all right, this is a simple book to hold on to. This money is important, and this is something that is worth talking about in the conversations, and also understand that people want to also keep money. The money that they earn on their wage or hourly wage or salary is that to know how to maintain it. And by having money, that's the way to maintain, is to not necessarily ways to living within your means, but also finding proactive methods that will help you grow the money, whether it's through 401k or whether it's through basically your private or organized investments, ETFs, bonds, today's ongoing partnerships in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as well. So, it's a lot. It will open up a lot of avenues.
Right, and I love how you said that. It is the key is to growing the money too.
Right. Yeah. Financial security. That's another big factor I've learned in some of the investment success books from Benjamin Graham, Intelligent Investor. He talked about financial security, why it's so basically important to have that security in the long run, whether it's through retirement stage or within ongoing situations where one person is still in the career. Like, for example, I'm actually in the career of biopharma sector, and so I have basically personal funds being diversified and put into one of my 401k program fundings to ensure that there's financial security in the long run. And with their company's employment stock exchange program that they offer every newly hired employees to take advantage of, because that way they know that they have financial security in the long run, for the long term.
Yeah, and having financial security, I mean, this brings it all back up and sums it up that, when you have financial security, there's nothing like that peace when you walk the face of the earth and you're not worried, right?
Right. Yeah. There's nothing like that peace of security, the peace of mind where you can walk outside and basically know that your financial security and you've worked hard. One person who has put a lot of their time proactively, right? It took faith, it took guts to put the amount of work that, enables everyone to want more. If you want more, you got to work, put in the work and the effort. You will have it.
Yeah, so well said. Perfect place to end this. What you have to do is do what Giorgi said. You've got to go and get the book, and then you can pick it up at any place, and you can carry it around with you. Investing Best and Simple Steps, wise and simple steps to increase financial wealth, and that's what will make you feel so peaceful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Katie, for having me. I appreciate it.
Great job. Great job.
Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you looking good, baby.